You know, Wisconsin has a lot of historic places, and I'm going to check out one that's a little bit mysterious and sometimes hard to find. I'm just across the river from Minnesota into Wisconsin, going to head north out of Grantsburg and see if we can find the ruins of the copper paint mine. Along the way, we'll make some stops and definitely check out the great views of the St. Croix River. I've been meaning to take this jaunt north of Wisconsin 70 for a few years now. Every time I thought about seeking out the old copper paint mine, this area along the St. Croix National Scenic Riverway was deep into horsefly season, so traipsing into the thick woods wasn't all that appealing. Today, however, it's early May, so exploring the sites around here should be pretty much bug-free and quite enjoyable. The Sandrock Cliffs are an easy access hike from this small parking lot. Be sure to wear some decent hiking shoes because this beautiful area is known for its rocky formations and forested areas. Okay, that map was helpful. Looks like there's 5 miles of trails here. I don't think I'm going to walk 5 miles of trails, but I'll walk a little bit, get down by the river and see what we can see. Definitely a great place to launch your canoe. Just off this trail at the top of the cliffs here are some campgrounds, and there's some campers nearby, so I'm trying not to be too noisy. And I'm sure they're probably pretty popular sites because this is quite the view of the St. Croix and the little channel of water that leads into it. Here, take a look. If you have little kids, be sure to keep them in check. The cliff warning signs mean business, and it's quite a drop to the rocks and water below. So obviously I think the best view of the cliffs is going to be from the river in a canoe, which I don't have, but it's still pretty nice even here. I have to say, you can see the sign behind me. It is definitely a cliff area. The trails in this area are also pretty worn since it's a popular destination for some free camping up above the St. Croix River. The campsites are on a first-come, first-served basis, which may mean you're out of luck if it's the weekend. Maybe plan a midweek outing to get that ideal campsite. You could also drop a kayak in the water and head downstream to one of the several dispersed sites along the waterway. Okay, I want to go a little bit farther and then see what we can see, and then we'll head back to the truck and go find that old mine. Let's climb back up to the top of the cliffs and head back to the truck. Now this copper mine, I need to go online and learn more about it here, so I'll tell you more in a second. But I've seen some videos online, and I've heard it can get pretty overgrown, but there's some really cool old relics there. From what I've seen in other pictures and things, it's kind of steampunk, if you know what that is. Old iron wheels and equipment and things like that, so I'm looking forward to seeing it if I can find it. Again, I'm very thankful that it's early in the season and the horseflies and mosquitoes aren't bad. The video I saw, the folks were wearing mosquito nets on their heads. So if you're gonna come look for it in the summer, make sure you have some bug protection. I heard it's pretty bad. All right, I'm back at the truck. So at the end of the road that goes past the mine is another access to the river. It's a landing. Let's go check that out first, because I've heard the views from there are pretty good and from what I've seen online. And then we'll go find that mine. Plenty of time. And what a beautiful day. It's getting hot. So the road that took us down here to Sandrock Landing is known as Ferry Road. So it's probably pretty safe to assume that at one point this landing and that landing right behind me in Minnesota, right there, was a ferry crossing at some point. Across the way is the Snake River Landing and Snake River Campground. So if you do want to camp roughly in this area, you can in Minnesota, but not here at the landing. Something to consider. This is a beautiful place. Again, something to check out if you're exploring the St. Croix Valley around the Grantsburg area. Oh, it's wonderful. There's a walking path here, and it's nicely lined with stone. So I feel like this is the right area. This is beyond the sign I saw. Maybe this won't be hard to find, but wow, it's pretty cool here. I hadn't gone too far down the Soul Trail before coming up on this mysterious, and dare I say creepy, moss-covered old stone stairway. So behind me is a path that looks like it leads up back towards the truck along a ravine here. I want to continue a little farther down the hill. I can hear water down there, and I think there's some people here too. Go check it out. This is really cool back here. They say finding the old paint mine can be a bit tricky, especially when the woods are thick with vegetation and leaves. Heck, I almost missed it, and it was basically about 30 feet from where I was standing. Now check this out. Other than the road leading here being called Paint Mine Road and the old ratty but very cool sign at the trailhead, this historic relic is pretty much nondescript. And being so mysterious just makes it that more appealing to check out. See the old retaining wall keeping the side of the hill up. Old piping for channeling water. And that red pigment in the clay must have been really popular for paint. My Google search for more information was thin with results, and the old wood sign pretty much said it all. a local guy, David Kennedy, found pigment here, which may have been used for paint. It only operated for about 19 years, from 1894 to 1913, which are the similar years that the nearby Croix Meadows was harvested for grass to make rugs. Perhaps the red or blue pigments reported to have been mined here were used for dyeing these rugs. Who knows? Please leave a comment if you know more about this amazing abandoned and overgrown historic ruin. Here's the cobblestone path that they talked about was here. Or brick, a little brick stone path. Oof, I'm getting hot. Well, that was super cool. The old paint mine ruins. I guess they weren't hard to find, you just have to hike a little bit off the road. But super cool. One of the coolest things I've seen in a long time. I've been out exploring like this. I love it. And I hope you love this. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, that would help me out too. So until the next one, guys, go get lost on some beautiful back roads, and I'll see you later.